Hey there. I wanted to share something really insightful I stumbled upon called Advanced Strategies for Securing Azure Virtual Machine Hosts, a comprehensive guide for IT professionals. Sounds interesting, right? Well, this guide is pretty in-depth when it comes to implementing solid security measures for Azure VM hosts. So, first things first, securing VM hosts might seem daunting, but it's manageable once you're armed with the right strategies and tools Azure provides. In this guide, they delve deep into various security aspects and offer a well-grounded approach backed by best practices and Azure-specific insights. Now, when hosting VMs, especially in a multi-tenant environment like Azure, it's crucial to ensure that no direct access is given to physical servers or even virtual ones to avoid possible exposure to threats. Azure, by design, keeps VMs distributed over cloud infrastructure with multiple safeguards to prevent such direct access. However, when we talk about securing hosts themselves at a higher level to ensure a robust security posture, it's all about leveraging the right Azure tools and policies. Starting with Azure Security Center, this platform aims to unify the security monitoring capabilities for Azure resources, including VM hosts. It assists in detecting potential security threats by continuously analyzing behavior and patterns in the Azure environment. The guide goes over how Azure Security Center helps in identifying unusual activities on VM hosts and even automates some responses. Moving on to Azure Policy, it's not just about compliance, but also as an enforcement mechanism for security configurations across your entire Azure environment. The guide sheds light on how to use Azure Policy to enforce baseline security requirements and prevent security drifts that can happen when the environment changes over time. They walk you through setting policies that ensure only the minimum necessary access rights are granted to individuals and services, adhering to the principle of least privilege. And because no guide to Azure security is complete without talking about Azure's built-in Compliance Center, let's not forget about the Azure Compliance Center. This guide emphasizes the importance of keeping VM hosts compliant with industry standards and regulations, and how Azure's built-in tools like Azure Policy and Azure Blue Bastion come in super handy to streamline compliance management. Of course, implementing these security measures isn't a one-size-fits-all. Different workloads and environments might require a tailored approach. Here, the guide dives into strategies like employing virtual network peering for secure communication channels, implementing network security groups, and even suggests using dedicated security appliances when needed. Another cool thing mentioned in the guide is segmentation and applying network isolation techniques to reduce the attack surface. Isolation can protect not only VMs, but also containers or even entire application workloads if you are running something like Azure Kubernetes service alongside. They wrap up the guide highlighting the significance of security posture drills and disaster recovery plans, emphasizing that even with all the preventative measures in place, always being prepared to respond quickly is essential. Anyway, to learn more and really get into these advanced strategies, I dove straight into the detailed guide, and here's what stood out: setting up advanced networking security with Azure Firewall and Azure Firewall Manager to provide granular control over traffic flow, using Azure Bastion service to securely access management consoles through the cloud without installing Windows agents in the host, and taking advantage of Azure's built-in automation with Azure Policy to enforce security configurations effectively. The guide is chock full of actionable and detailed steps that go beyond the basics, providing IT professionals with the knowledge and confidence to design and implement an unbreakable security perimeter for Azure VM hosts. I must say, with the depth of technical knowledge packed into this piece, no one could mistake it for a superficial read. It really helps arm you with all the nitty-gritty details of hosting security at scale. In essence, if you are stepping into securing your Azure VM hosts with a fine-tooth comb, or even if you are just refining your current security measures, this guide holds the keys to unlocking an advanced, formidable security stance for your virtual infrastructure. Well, time flies when you are diving deep into a comprehensive guide, right? But I think this conversation has gone on for a wee bit longer than I planned. Before I zip over to catch up on some other tech talks, make sure not to miss a single update by keeping an eye on TechLab. Subscribe for more like this. Let's keep ramping up that security know-how. You'll find all sorts of deep dives into cybersecurity and cloud engineering here. Visit neeraj.qzz.io and subscribe to TechLab for the latest reads that'll keep you one step ahead in the tech world. Wanna see more insightful guides? Tune in every day for a steady supply of the latest IT and technology reads. Oh, and if you found this talk through or any of the content on TechLab helpful, consider giving a thumbs up and sharing with your network. Every bit of feedback helps, and sharing good content is a win-win for us both. Alright, that's all for today's dive. Stay curious and stay secure out there in the wild world of tech.